Right, the object I'm going to describe today is an MGB Roadster motor vehicle. I purchased this in the 30th of July 1986. Well, if we go back in time, when we were first married, I had sports cars. My wife was expecting our first child, Paula, so we had to consider getting a saloon car. We couldn't afford a new sports car, which I had, so we had to sell that, and we went back from a 1965 sports car to a 1954 Morris Minor. And we needed the money to buy a twin tub washing machine because we didn't have things like that. So this car reminds me of the time my daughter was born, because we had to sell our car because we were having a daughter. And when I bought the car, the present car, I was sitting in the chairman of the swimming club's house when there was a roar outside, sound of an engine, and the doorbell rang, and in walked one of our ex-students from the swimming club, and he was the local doctor. And I asked him what the noise was outside, and he mentioned it was an MGB Roadster, but he was going to have to sell it because he just had a little girl and he needed a four-seater car. So it was like going back in history. Yeah, BMC years ago used to have small saloon cars, and they decided to make a sports car called a Frog-Eyed Sprite, an Austin Healey Sprite. And what they did was they used the running parts from an Austin A35 and made a sports car. And that was the first sports car I ever had, an Austin Healey Sprite called a Frog-Eye. And that was when my wife and I were courting. And that was back in 1960. And I must have lots of thousands of miles of travelling backwards and forwards seeing my wife, who lived 25 miles away from where I did. And then BMC decided to make a bigger sports car, and the MGB was derived from the Austin Cambridge, which was an A60, and they used the same running gear, and that's the format of this car. This is a four-cylinder carburetor and system of fuel carburation, and it's just great. It's 4-speed overdrive on the top 2 speeds. It'll do about 100, but I put around about 50 and 60 miles an hour. My wife doesn't like her hair to be disturbed when we're in the car. And one of the adventures we had, the last night we were in the south of France, we decided to go for a meal on the coast. And when you're coming back with the stars shining, you think, fantastic. And the car just stopped. We broke down in the middle of nowhere. So we had a terrible job, really, to try and get assistance. We contacted the AA, and I couldn't tell them exactly where we were. So we ended up walking down the road to some nearby houses. I don't speak any French or anything, and there was one telephone on one ear, another telephone on the other ear. The AA could speak to the residents of where we were and explain where the breakdown had to come. But I think the interesting thing for me was that when the breakdown came, he just wanted to take it away. He didn't want to look at it. And when I asked him about how long it would take, he talked about a fortnight being repaired, and I said, well, we're going home tomorrow. So I convinced him to take us back to where we were staying because I had some spare parts. The next morning I repaired it, and it's gone like a bomb medicine. Yeah, well, the nice thing about it was I went down to a little shop in where we live who sells motor parts, and I believe in fate. I'm a great fatalist. Everything happens for fate. And when I was buying some spare alternator off him, on the bench was some parts for the electrical parts. And I just said, well, what are they for? He said, oh, an MGB. So I said, I'll take them. And that's what was wrong. That part came in handy. So fate played a big part in getting us back home. The first thing that goes in the garage is this. And then the next thing is another car. But this is the most passionate car we've got. And this is my hobby. It was a stress breaker. I was in a high-powered job in the police service. I found it was nice to come home, take something off, paint it, and put it back together. And it was just a relaxing atmosphere. The garage really is my second home. In fact, we bought this house with a double garage and 3 bedrooms attached because I like cars.